Probably like my culture. That's
Hmm.
one of like the main driving elements that I have. Um, Got to be a leader to someone, so why not my community and therefore helping them? When I was younger, I grew up on like a, a stone throw away from the Navajo reservation, so I was always in like the wilderness and the wild. And when I really fell in love with nature and Mother Earth's first architects, being the ants, the wasp, the bees, like the animals making their homes. I always used to be really fascinated by that, and I used to like just like sit there and watch them build, watch them move stuff. Um, Core values. Hmm. Definitely have to say family, community. I think that's like the same thing. Um, and in doing so, of course, as um, a grown individual, one that has the resource of education behind him, I wish to drive that notion of being a leader in my family, in my community. I think a second one would be like Mother Earth, the environment. Without her, we cannot be here. We cannot thrive. It is a building block of our whole livelihood. Um, that definition of process has definitely changed over probably the last 3 years. No, probably 4 or 5 years, because my process was very similar to what you and I know, what you are to come to know.
Hmm.
But going through the IDC and being taught under Wanda Della Costa and learning the values that represent my people, uh, it has shaped out the way it has come to be. So, yeah. I guess that collaboration kind of goes with like the engagement. With this work that we do at the IDC, we're very inclusive. Um, we talk to these communities, we do the research, we engage with them, we communicate with them, and then through the design process, uh, we're able to identify the true essence of their culture, their value systems, and then once we understand that, um, we go through a lot of steps to do that. But in the end, um, the whole point of that research and that whole process is so you can communicate the final product to your client. So it's a good that communication is involved with the engagement, if that makes sense. I think design is headed in the right direction
Hmm.
with the change that is going on now. Thank goodness it's happening, but it is different cultures are being identified. The idea of preservation of not only like cultures or groups, but just of like architecture, the existing infrastructure that's there. So
Okay.
start young.
Um, yeah, start young. What are the biggest challenges you face when it comes to designing or just in general?
That's a good one. But when I was going to school, uh, it was definitely a white man's field, what
Mhm.
my professors called it. But I had to work twice as hard as everyone else did because my ideas were a little different. You be engaged in your college, be engaged in school, uh, whether like definitely in your schoolwork, definitely your homework, your projects, but also be engaged in like outside of school.